Hey everybody, welcome back to the Your Relationship With podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Snow. I gotta tell you, as of this recording, just got off our virtual speed networking call, and it's like one of my favorite days of the whole month. We had 46 amazing women on there, such high energy, positive, brilliant, action-focused women connecting with each other. And I'm just like so pumped right now. I just want to I don't know. I think I need to go around the block or have a dance party with my dog or something. In the meantime, let's dig into today's episode. I love this episode. I love this person. I love her picture. I just love everything about today. So today I'm interviewing Alexandria Agresta, and she is a international speaker, a TedX speaker, and she's the founder of Made for the Stage, where she turns industry leaders into thought leaders and messages into movements. I can tell you from personal experience, I've worked with her. She is incredible. Alexandria believes in a world where the message we know we were put on this earth to share doesn't die still inside us. She's been speaking professionally for a decade and has worked with hundreds of thought leaders in getting their message on more dream stages. Her in the arena experience and track record of success has led her to becoming a pioneer in her space, pushing the boundaries of how we can speak in a way that moves the masses and use the stage to create true influence in the world. So if you are interested in getting on the stage for the first time, getting on more stages, or even if the thought of getting on stage and speaking in front of people scares the crap out of you, we talk about that in this interview too. So I know that you guys will love my interview with Alexandria Agresta. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the Your Relationship With podcast.
Yay! I feel like this just, of course, had to happen. This is a big yes for me. Melissa and Alex in the same room, Zoom room.
I know. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. And it's funny because this is actually, I don't know what order that they're going to come out in, but yours is the first interview that I've recorded.
This is the first one?
Yeah.
Oh my, okay. All right. That just changed everything. Get ready for the magic, people. You girls go bring it.
I know. I didn't warn you ahead of time that you were popping the podcast cherry today.
Yeah, honestly, that's my specialty. I usually am always the one that is selected to go first and all the things. So everyone's going to be in for a treat. Whatever order they listen to this in, they're going to be in for a treat that this is the first one. So I'm glad you surprised that. I'm glad you surprised me with that.
Yeah. Well, that's the last surprise I have for today.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So we are talking today about your relationship with sharing your message on stage. This is something that you know a lot about, right? Tell us a little bit about your experience with sharing your message on stage.
Yeah. So I always like to take it back to when I was a little nugget. Because those that have the gift to speak, not everyone has it, but for those listening that you're like, yeah, I was born to speak, it likely has blossomed in very early stages of our life. So I was running around when I was 4 years old with a baby bop in one hand, a Barney in the other, screaming that I wanted to be a CEO and a motivational speaker. So clearly I manifested my best damn life. So
no kidding.
Go me. But I just, I've always had a love for language. Language, arts, English were always my best subjects because I'm a big believer that words shape our entire reality. They can divide us or they can connect us. They can hurt us or they can heal us. So, everything has a light and a shadow, but I've always seen potential and power and healing in words. So, I don't know how that kept blossoming throughout my life. But I remember when I was in middle school, I was always like doing things where I had to be speaking up front. I loved public speaking in college. I was this motivational speaker friend. Everyone would invite me to their after school meetings. They're like, can you just come motivate our people? I'm like, absolutely I can. So it's just been a common thread throughout my entire life. So when it came to me starting my business, that's all I knew. I was like, well, all I know is how to speak. So let's go do that and connect this speaking gift that I have to how I run my business. And it's just been the unfolding ever since then. And now, speaking is my fuel to my business, my movement. And that is just, it's such ease and flow to me because I'm using my God-given gift to grow and do this thing that I want to do. So it's been magical ever since the 4-year-old Barney baby bop situation.
I love it. I love it. I predict that your message has changed a bit since then.
Just a tad.
Well, one thing that I really love about your topic in particular and the way that you teach about speaking is it really is about honing in on your message and what is the thing that you are trying to say that a lot of times is different than what anyone else is trying to say, right? Like you're not just teaching people, get up on stage and speak, go get some attention and be in the spotlight and be funny and be motivating. Like, what is your message? So can you talk a little bit about the importance of knowing that message and how you figure it out?
Yeah, I love that you really pick up on my angle and my approach because you're right. The stage is just a vehicle, just like there's any other vehicle that you could go speak, right? And it just so happened that I plopped my word wizarding love for language and messaging into the stage world. But you're so right. It all comes back home to what is the message that you want to be known for? What's that thing that you are banging your fists on the table, getting so passionate and convicted about at Thanksgiving dinner? Poor Uncle Bob's like, my God, get me another beer. What's going on with this frickin' person? Right? So that really is the secret sauce, is navigating the world, speaking in a way that moves people. So actually, it was in the mastermind that you participated in. Someone said, Alex, there's a difference between talking and speaking. And she was like, you're going to help me speak. And I was like, oh my God.
I love that.
I know. I was like, no one has ever reflected that back to me. That's it. We are in a world of people talking and projecting and not listening to each other. And we put language to bad use when that is one of the most beautiful tools. This voice box that we have, I am so grateful for it. Right? So it's about how do we speak in a way that moves people, that heals people, that inspires them to do something. We actually don't need all the bells and whistles in our business. That to me is icing on the cake. The beautiful websites, the fun marketing strategies, like all that stuff is icing. It's what is your message? What's the thing that you want to be known for, that you're willing to die for, that you have in the arena experience to back up this message that you so believe in? Right? And it's about radiating that literally everywhere you go. I like to make the stage very practical and human-y. It's that when we hear stage, we think Tony Robbins, 10,000 people in the room, lights, microphone. That's
right.
only
no personal connection.
No personal connection. Like that's only one type of stage, mind you. And that's only one little sliver of the pie. I see your life as a stage. You want to have your message so dialed in that if someone at the freaking gym, when you're all sweaty after your workouts, like, oh, I saw you on Facebook, tell me more about what you speak about. That's a stage moment. You better be prepared for that. So I like to bring that stage down from that starry, dreamy, that image that we have in our mind, make it so gritty and real. And that's what's so empowering to me, is you can be potent and a powerful communicator in every moment, from the stage when you're dressed up to in line at the grocery store. And all of those moments matter in furthering your mission and movement.
Yeah. And I love that you say it's just one vehicle for getting your message across, because it really is. I think everyone has a message. Everyone has that one thing that they feel strongly about. A lot of us are ignoring it.
Yeah, yes,
a lot of us are hearing that whisper and like, no, we're not doing that today. But there is a lot of different ways that we can get that message out into the universe. And I love that you say, like, speaking on stage specifically is one of them, right? Which is a very different experience than speaking on a podcast, very different experience than speaking on a Facebook Live video, very different experience than speaking to someone at a networking event. But knowing that message and being really dialed in on who you are and what you're doing is the key.
It's exactly that. And now if you start there, now you'll be excited about all the different types of stages and not maybe lean just to doing podcast. I see this. oh, I just do podcasts and, I'm not ready for the in-person stages. I'm like, like time to bring you out of your comfort zone. But I realized the more, right? Like I see people have the aha moments. I saw it for you, right? When that person that I'm working with gets the light bulb moment of, oh my God, I finally have the words for what I've been trying to say for 10, 15, 20 years. And it feels so true. And now, Alex, you just helped me construct it in a way that's actually going to do something in the world. So I'm not just yabbing. Oh, it's like the spark is back in, that little twinkle is back in someone's eye. And now they're like, oh, podcast, that's child's play. I'm getting on that big ass stage now. So you're right. It all comes down to the words. We got to double down on the words first and really dial that in. And then everything else is going to feel just like icing on the cake and effortless and fun and exciting. And you're going to want to take on huge stages. And I don't mean size huge. I mean like caliber of the stage.
Yeah. So what advice do you have for someone who might be listening who thinks that maybe they're not important enough to share?
Yeah. So for those that might be like, I don't know, you stage, right? Because we put the stage on a pedestal in a way, because it really is significant and an important place. So this isn't a podcast for business owners, right? You're in the arena of business in some way, shape, or form. I want you to think of one person, whether they said, you helped me, you changed me, you shifted my perspective, you helped me get a result. Not matter, right? Of course it matters, right? Because our message, right? This is how I see language and message. To me, we want to use it in a way that's going to ignite something. It's going to transform, inspire, heal, get someone a result. I think we don't think our message is talking and we're yabbing and we're blabbing. But when we have a message that we have the confidence that's going to move, that's going to inspire, right? That's when we start to feel like, okay, what I'm saying is important. This does matter. So I'd really encourage you, think about the people that you've gotten results. And my goodness, if you're really like challenging me here and saying, Alex, I haven't gotten anyone results yet, think of loved ones. Think of a friend that you've given advice to. Just think of one person in your life that you clearly changed them for the better. And that's what that's our starting point. And right. And if we start to go from talking to speaking, that belief of what I have to say doesn't matter is just going to naturally dissipate, because you're now moving very intentionally with your words.
Yeah. Makes total sense. So why do you think it is so important for people to be able to share their message, especially business owners?
Yeah. So this is the one question I prepared for, because I really wanted to like map out my notes. So
all right, give it to us. We have high hopes now.
Yeah. We have like a whole like bullet point list. So I want to share a couple of angles, right? And this is just how I see questions and words. There's always layers to it. So the first part, and right, this is a podcast for business owners that are powerhouse women. So I think for us women, I know I'm on a journey of stepping into my power even more, owning my power, claiming my power, being this radiant goddess, right? That's what I believe true divine feminine power is. And I think too often we give our power away to our kids, to our significant other, to our parents, our siblings, our friends, the society, the internet. And to me, speaking on stage has been a powerful practice of taking back my power and being this powerful, grounded, just magical human on stage. So I think part one of why I believe everyone needs to get their butt out there and start speaking is what a profound practice of owning your shit. You didn't go through all this stuff for no reason. Trust me, I'll pinky promise you on that one. You went through all your shit for a reason. And to then go share it with the world, the power that you take back and the self-healing that ends up happening as a byproduct of simply sharing your story is, I don't even have words for it. It's just so profound. So that's my internal. And then when it comes to the external and thinking about our businesses, there's always going to be so many things being hurled our way. I don't think we're ever going to stop being in the fads, and we're in the TikTok era, and we got the Snapchat, and we got this next marketing thing and this next business thing. And, in the almost mayhem, and it's overwhelming. To me, speaking your story on a stage is timeless. Mm-hmm. It's unshakable. It's unbreakable. When there's madness and chaos going on over here, I really believe humans subconsciously or subconsciously or consciously are going to go seek that wisdom from a leader. And they're likely going to turn to someone who's speaking on a platform, right? Because that platform is authority, it's credibility, it's influence, and it's power. Mm-hmm. So to me, I don't mess around with any of that BS. And it's okay if anyone here does that. If it works for you and you love it, do it. Yeah. That stuff doesn't work for me. And I'm on the train right now of letting go of anything I think I have to do and doubling down on what I want to do. And Amen. Again, in the chaos and madness, the stage has just been this place of refuge and consistency and just timelessness for me. And from there, success becomes inevitable.
Yeah. And I think too, there's a shift happening, and I don't know if it's really happening or this is just my wishful thinking, wanting it to happen, but I think there's a shift happening where people are getting burnt out on the artificial intelligence, the cold DMing. I don't know that people were ever not burnt out on the cold DMing, but the like constant noise from social media and all the things. Like, I feel like people are really wanting to get back to that in-person, face-to-face connection with a real human being. And that's really what speaking on stage allows us to do.
You are spot on. I mean, I can think of 3 fads right away, right? We have Clubhouse, that was like during the pandemic, right?
Remember, I forgot about that. That was short-lived.
Right? Exactly. How short-lived, right? TikTok's lasting a little longer, but there was a TikTok craze. There was a Snapchat craze. Now we have Chat GPT. There's always, in the tech world, which is always evolving, there's going to be all these fads that get us excited for a moment. But what is the constant? Human connection. That can never be taken away. We're always going to crave that. And you're exactly right. Human connection is at the center of the stage, where we get to actually experience human connection in its purest form, right? I get to feel your energy field. I get to see you. Maybe I get to shake your hand or hug you, right? And human connection, as we know, I mean, you are the relationship and networking expert. People are not going to give you their hard-earned, dollar bills if they don't trust you and are able to relate to you and connect to you. So to me, I'm like, listen, if you don't want to compete, if you don't want to do all this crazy stuff over here, get your butt on a stage, dial in your message, go experiment, go put yourself out there. What do you got to lose? There's going to be some type of growth and success on the other side in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I used to think like speaking on stage is something that comes very naturally to me also. It's not, I feel like I'm much more comfortable talking on stage in front of 400 people than I am like sitting down with 3 strangers.
Me too. We're the crazy ones.
But I think for a long time, I thought like, that's nice and fun. And maybe I'll do that for a hobby because it's a rush and it's exciting and, it's a cool thing to do. But that's not how I'm going to build a business. So I know for you that you were able to build a 6-figure business by speaking on stage. So can you tell us a little bit about how you did that and how speaking on stage can actually help you with your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I first want to start, right? This is just how I work. You've seen me in action. I always got to start with the soil, right? So the deeper layer first is you have to let go of the stuff that isn't working for you, right? If you don't want to be posting a million times on social media, if you don't want to be doing this, if you don't want to be doing that, you have to let it go so you can actually create space for the stage in your life. And I speak from experience. I'll never forget, I called my business partner at the time and I was just in tears. I was like, all I want to do is speak. I don't want to build this ClickFunnels landing page and build an Facebook ad. I was like, I'm dying. And he was like, Al, cancel everything and just go speak on a stage. And when I finally just surrendered to that and let everything else go, I was fulfilled. My bank account was going up. I was like, whoa. So that's the deeper layer. You got to let all that shit go that I don't need to tell you. Melissa doesn't need to tell you, what's just a big no for you right now.
Yep.
So no one needs to tell you, letting it go so you can actually create the space in your life for what is going to work for you and what will be aligned for you. Now, bringing that up to, gritty, practical, tactical, the first thing, you got to dial in your message, right? Sometimes I struggle. I want to get people out there on a stage so they can experience it. But if you get out there and you're talking instead of speaking, and you're talking on a topic that doesn't even feel good for you, and it's not even one the audience gives a shit about, you're not going to have a bad taste in your mouth of the stage.
Yeah.
So I think the best use of your time, your energy, your resources, your money is finding that person that can help you have that moment of, oh my God, this is what I've been trying to say. This is it, right? And it has to hit on, it feels good for you. It's a true expression of you. And it's a message that the market really needs right now. It hits on things that the market is ready and ripe for. They want this message. Mm-hmm. And then honestly, from there, I would start easy. Book a podcast. Find something local. If you want to do in person, find something local in your backyard, chambers of commerce, networking groups. Wherever there's an event and wherever there's members, there are speakers. They all hang out because, to have a great event, you need to have great speakers that add value. So I think, again, the deeper layer, you got to let all the things go to create space in your life and business. You got to dial in that message, right? So it's refined, it's potent, it's powerful. It's really going to serve a real need in the marketplace. And then from there, do the Mel Robbins rule, turn your brain off, count to 3, and just go book a damn stage, right? You got to play, you got to experiment. And really what happens, how I was able to build a 6-figure business just from speaking, is I made it my sustainable fuel. Instead of me posting on social media and doing weird TikTok videos, I was like, okay, what stage do I need to be on this week? Yeah. Right. And I really made it the focal point of my business. And just like with anything, whatever you make the focal point and you put your energy and attention towards, it will come to life. So if that feels true for you and you've been wanting to make that your focal point, it really is as easy as you just got to make it the focal point. You got to start there.
Yeah. And stick with it for more than 5 seconds. That's something that we really like to do too, is like, okay, I'm going to cut out all the other things because what I want to do is speak on stage. And so I go and I look for a stage and maybe I can't find one, or I go and I find one and I speak on stage, but nobody hires me. And then I'm like, okay, that didn't work. I'm going to go make reels. And then I make like 5 reels that get like 10 views. And I'm like, okay, reels don't work. I'm going to go do this other thing. Like, pick something and stick with it.
I mean, we could do a whole episode on the relationship with consistency, right? So, I mean, the secret sauce and everything I'm saying is you got to stick with it. I've been professionally speaking for a decade. Talk about sticking with it. And I feel like I'm just getting started. And you know how many times I've botched it on stage? You know how many times, a stage was a flop? You got to stick with it and stick with it. But with anything, you will start to see results. You will start to become a practitioner of your message, a master of your message. But if you got shiny object syndrome, don't take it out on the stage right now. Come back. Come back at a later date.
Yeah, no kidding. So I want to know, before we wrap this up, what is your current relationship with speaking your message on stage? Like, do you still get nervous? Do you still get stage fright? Are you just like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting, let's do it?
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful question. I think if you're not getting just a little nervous, I don't know if it's still that, that fire, that spark within you. Of course, I still get nervous. I get those butterflies, but it's excitement butterflies. It's the butterflies of, I know I'm exactly where I need to be. But oddly enough, when I walk up on that stage and I take a breath in and I exhale, I'm home. I'm getting tingly just saying that. My relationship with the stage is home. On stage, I expand, I heal, I inspire, I impact. And I think the most incredible thing that happens for me is I get to boldly confront truth. And I've always been someone that's wanted to do the hard thing in life. And that's what's always made me feel lonely and like I was different from other people. I was being the weirdo walking down the road less traveled, like, ooh, let's go down that dark alleyway and see what happens. And everyone's like, you're nuts. We're going down the road most traveled. So, on that stage, I get to be just fully me. And I get to be that person that does the hard thing and faces my own shit live on stage in front of strangers. It's the most vulnerable thing we could do. But vulnerability, as we know, is strength. It's courage. It's us. So to me, it's part of my DNA. I couldn't imagine a life without the stage as my cozy little home. It's like I'm in like my little Care Bear slippers when I'm on stage. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. It's so funny because I think half the people listening to this podcast are like, oh my gosh, yes, I get it. And the other half are like, what is she saying?
we got it split right down the middle. Yeah. Half of you are like, oh girl, I feel that. That's me. Half of you are like, you're effing nuts. See you later. Nope.
Yeah. That is the last place I want to be.
Yeah.
So if anybody is listening to this podcast and they're listening to you describe your relationship with speaking your message on stage and they're getting the little tinglies and they're like, oh my gosh, I totally feel that. Where's the best place for them to start?
Yeah. So best place to start, right? It's going to be twofold. We got the message and then we got the stage. So just sit down with yourself and answer one question. What do I really want to say to the world? Like, what are you really trying to friggin' say? I don't want the smart answer. I don't want the polished answer. I want the raw, banging your fist on the table, like convicted, passionate, and just journal that out. And then second, see what's going on right in your network. What stage can you book? Maybe your friend has a podcast that they need great guests. Maybe there's a local networking event or a women's group or something right in your backyard, and pitch that convicted, passionate, true message and just see what happens. Humor me. And if something magical happens, let me know, because then I know I'm right on the money.
I love it. This is so awesome. Thank you so much, Alex, for coming and sharing. This has been incredible. And I just love hearing from you. I will post all of your information about how people can get in touch with you, follow you, work with you in the show notes, and everyone be sure to check that out.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me, Melissa. I love that you hit it right on the mark. 50% is loving this. 50% feels like they're going to poop their pants. Nonetheless, connect with me. I want to be a part of your journey. And of course, if you're feeling ready to take the stage, come find me. I don't call myself the stage Sherpa for no reason. So I would love to be a part of your journey and get your incredible message on more stages. And again, thank you for letting me share my message on your stage today, Melissa.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of the Your Relationship With podcast. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes, and definitely leave us a review because it helps more women just like you find our podcast. If you're interested in learning more about our virtual speed networking events, the link is in the show notes. There's also a link to find out more about the Powerful Women Rising community. We would love to have you join us. Have a great day.